book. And yes, I've picked up the book again. Tell me about Festivals of India, written by Anurag Mehta and Vanita Ved. And the third story is Makar Sankranti. Makar Sankranti is an important Hindu festival celebrated on the 14th of January every year, a day after the festival of Lori. Yes, like every day, please remember you have to sit straight, take the book in your hand, and you have to read. Read for yourself, read for remembering things, read for refreshment. Yes. Now, tip for the day. There is no particular hour for reading, right? Same way, there is no particular place where you can sit and read. The place where you feel the most comfortable, you feel you want to read, that is the place where you should read. So, let's get started. Makar Sankranti, 14th of January every year, a day after the festival of Lori. The date is fixed, and like most of the other Indian festivals, the reason being that most Indian festivals are celebrated according to the lunar calendar. The tithi falls on that particular day, and hence that day is fixed. Every year we have to find out the tithi and then fixed, like for example it's Diwali or Navratri or things like that. So now the reason being that most Indian festivals are based on the lunar calendar. That means the day of the festival is decided on the movement of the moon. However, Sankranti is based on the solar or the sun movements. This day symbolizes that the start of the sun's journey to the northern hemisphere. You must have read somewhere, or you must have heard your grandma and grandpa and your parents saying that Surya no Makar Rashi ma Pravesh etle Makar Sankranti. So it's that. It's moving towards the northern hemisphere. The journey of sun starts towards the northern hemisphere. This festival is the counterpart of Pongal, the popular festival of South India. On Makar Sankranti, it is traditional to take a dip in the holy Gange and pray for our ancestors. The dip denotes washing away sins too. Something like Ganga mein paap dhona. Yeah. It is believed that the divine goddess Ganga descended to earth during this time. How did Ganga descend on earth from her heavenly abode? Now, this myth begins ages ago. We'll take a break here and I'll quickly show you the beautiful and colorful pictures printed along with this story. So, yeah, here's it. People taking dip in the Gange river. Here it is. And then now third picture. The fourth. शिव की जटा में से गंगा जी का आगमन पृथ्वी पे. And then finally, people flying kites on their terraces. Alright, so according to a myth, King Sagar was performing the holy Ashwamedh Yagna. This yagna, or the holy prayer in front of a sacred fire, is performed with a horse. Now the horse is set free to roam the world. If he came back unopposed, it meant victory for the king. The extent of his territory the horse covered would become the property of the king who had released him. And then the returning horse was to be solemnly sacrificed to the gods. A mishap occurred when King Sagar was carrying out this yagna. During the ceremony, this horse, yes, which he was going to set free, this horse got lost, and now he instructed the king instructed his sons. He had some 60,000 sons. And he instructed his sons to go and find out the horse. So his sons set out to search for the horse. But sadly, they could not find it. And after a tiring search, they reached the ashram of sage Kapil. And do you know what they saw there? None other than the lost horse. And these sons of King Sagar were livid. He has stolen this horse, they decided amongst themselves. And at that time, sage Kapil was in deep meditation. Marching up to the sage, they bellowed, "Sage Kapil, how dare you steal the horse of King Sagar?" The sage remained immobile because he was deep in meditation. He was still in meditation, you see. The princess continued to speak very harsh and accusing words, accusing bad words. Eventually, disturbed and very angry, sage Kapil opened his eyes, was like this, and he said, opened his eyes. And turning his burning gaze towards the accusing princes, he reduced them to ashes. 60,000 sons of King Sagar were reduced to ashes by the sage's blazing eyes. Look at this. Look at this. These ashes were then sent to nether worlds, and King Sagar was horrified when he learned about this tragedy. He immediately sent his grandson Anshuman to plead to the sage to undo the curse. Anshuman traveled to the nether worlds and begged the sage, "O great sage, I beg you to undo the curse you have put on the 60,000 sons of King Sagar." Impressed with his persistence, Kapil answered, Son, there's only one solution." "What a great sage," Anshuman asked eagerly. "They can only be brought back to life if they are washed with the holy waters from the river Ganga." When Anshuman told this, King Sagar, the king, wailed, "But the river Ganga is in the heavens. My sons lie here on the earth. How can I possibly bring her here?" The task of bringing Ganga to earth failed miserably. King Sagar's skin could not bring her to earth. After 2 generations, Prince Bhagirath lamented the fate of his ancestors. He explored ways and means to do something about it. On learning that their sins could be only washed away by the holy waters of Ganga, he prayed hard to the heavenly river. "O Mother Ganga, please help me in my hour of need." Finally, the goddess agreed to descend on the earth. "But if I descend on the young earth, my impact will split it into 2. Ganga warned the prince, and this time Prince Bhagirath prayed to Lord Shiv, who agreed to help him. "I will take the massive impact on my matted head." Shiv ki jata, on that, he'll take the impact on his matted head, and then he'll let go Ganga down on the earth, flowing down on the earth. This way, the rushing waters will lose their force and it will make it easier for a descent on earth, declared Lord Shiv. And what exactly happened was like this. With Shiv's help, Ganga descended on earth. Bhagirath led the river Ganga towards the ashes of his ancestors, and Ganga split into many rivers, the tributaries. Why did she do this? She was trying to find the exact spot where the ashes were lying, and Ganga was able to wash away their sins and release them from the curse. After washing the ashes, she went into the sea. Do you see that even today a popular fair is held at Sagar Island? This is the island where Ganga meets the Bay of Bengal. It is believed those who bathe at the union of Ganga and the sea on the Makar Sankranti are blessed by the gods. It is also said that on the day of Makar Sankranti, the sun begins to rise higher and higher towards the northern hemisphere, And people believe that God is reminding everyone to go upwards with more brightness and light away from the darkness. हे प्रभु तू हमने परम तेजे ते लई जा. Like this type of Gujarati kavita is there, right? So param teje leja. So this is what the message of Makar Sankranti is actually. On Makar Sankranti, devotees bathe in the river before sunrise and they pray to the rising sun. They chant the Gayatri mantra and offer flowers. They pray for a good and righteous life. They also offer water to their ancestors, asking for blessings. Charity to the needy in the form of rice and dal is distributed. People even plan a menu for eating simple khichdi, that is a mismatch of dal and rice. This is to shine importance on simple living and high thinking. This reminds me of the famous dietitian Rujuta Divakar. I usually follow her, and it's like in off and on she keeps on saying, eat local, think global. Simple living, high thinking. Jaggery laddus dotted with sesame seeds are eaten. Sesame and jaggery during winter, sesame round the year. Round the year you can eat this in moderate amounts. It's like actually it has such a lot of nutrition. So specially these festivals are connected with these types of cuisines or these types of til laddus and making the jaggery and groundnut, that is the shing pak and all those things. Our ancestors, our dadis, they have been really great and they have found out at which time of the year what is the best for us. So I think what is associated with that particular festival, you should eat it because wahi uska mahatva hota hai. Special prayers are offered as a thanksgiving for good harvest. And people rejoice the coming of the harvest season. People welcome the end of freezing winter months and the arrival of warm, bright sun. Now slowly after Makar Sankranti, the heat of the sun increases and then it is said that Holi tapi ne thandi jai. So after Holi, immediately we can feel the heat of summer, and the summer is already, the temperature rises up to 35 and it becomes unbearable. So in Punjab, Makar Sankranti is called Lohri. It is celebrated to rejoice the harvest. And in Bengal, the huge Ganga Sagar Mela commences. In Gujarat, this is the time for kite flying. In Maharashtra, people exchange til laddus. In the south, it is called Pongal. However, whichever state this festival is in, it focuses on joys of bright, happy thoughts, and along with that, loads and loads of nutrition. Because there are these til laddus and there is the pongal and all those things that are to be eaten on that festival day or during that season, and it gives us such a lot of nutrition and it keeps us going and moving. It prompts people to move away from dark negativity and thank God for all He has given. I always, feel that the little or the more, whatever He has given, that is because we are lucky enough to get it. There are a number of people across, around your home, on the streets, in the jhupparpattis where they do not get food to eat, or they work really very very hard to earn their bread. So if your thali is served, please do not say I don't like bhindi and I don't like brinjal and I'm not going to eat roti. I want paratha, I am not going to eat paneer. Please don't say that, because you are lucky that you have that to eat. There are a number of people who just drink water and get back after their lunch break again to work, and then at finally at night, that is what they get, some chapati or some vegetable. So please keep on thanking God for every little thing. I'll just tell you one small little thing which I also practice in my day-to-day life. I am not sure whether I'll be able to motivate you or not, but it's like, if washing machine finishes the whole process and then it's time to remove my clothes and put them on the hanger, then that is the time before switching that, putting that off, I say a big thank you to it. Because if it was not there, I would have had to, wake up early and do the clothes myself. So every little thing, when we start being thankful for what we have, that is the time when really we have an abundance. Not only our riches and not only our health, but our happiness. And remember one thing, happiness is always, it always comes from self satisfaction. So keep on doing things which give you satisfaction, not because you have to do it, because it's compulsory for you to do. Each one may have a different passion to follow, each one may have different choices, their ways of living, but every time it's not good to keep on taking. At times it is actually the hour when you have to start giving to the society. With this, I'll see you again on the next chapter. I think the next story is Basant Panchami. Soon I'll record the Basant Panchami story for you, read aloud session, and be back. Until then, please, please, please start practicing to be thankful for each little thing that God has blessed you with. Yes, and last, before I sign off for the day, as my favorite RJ Karthik always says, कर दिखाओ कुछ ऐसा कि दुनिया करना चाहे आपके जैसा. See you again.